What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And today we're back at it answering more quotes and questions from you guys. And another for the greater.
I put the mic to my throat to see if I can get it to be more gurgly. Because, like the orcs love DACA and can never get enough DACA, I feel like I can never give enough gurgles in my WAAAGHs. And this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question, because we get to those questions first. That's what Justice777 did. What is your favorite or most memorable 40K quotes? That's actually really funny because there's been one quote that's been running in my head over and over again the entire week. I don't know why, but it's "Even in death, I still serve." Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's been memed too. There's like a dreadnought playing tennis. It's that quote. It seems simple, but there's a lot to it. Yeah. The whole indoctrination, the Imperial Creed, just knowing that this real quote that is spread really started because of chaos and Lorgar and all this.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like, there's so much to it, and I think it really showcases what 40K and Space Marines specifically are all about. Mm-hmm. Only war. That means that even if you die, you're still gonna be fighting.
Right, the Army of the Light with the Emperor.
Yeah. So I really love that quote, and it speaks to the genre of the grim darkness.
Yeah. Clearly, the one I always go to is for the greater good. Because that whole thing, it's meant to inspire a sense of unity. It's not about the individual, but the collective. And that's kind of what the ethereals have been preaching and what got the Tau to band together and create this awesome span of technology and really indoctrination for this primitive race that was on the verge of killing one another when they were still in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
So it's like, if this small quote can get other races and other empires to join them with obviously the threat of attack and whatnot, it goes a long way to show you that just by thinking of others instead of putting yourself forward, it benefits you in the long run.
Yeah.
Or the other one too that came to mind is the Imperial Guard. Victory is measured by blood, yours and the enemy's. Or I think it's the enemy's and yours.
Yeah, it showcases attrition, wars of attrition.
Yeah, which is the opposite of what people think of now.
Oh.
Well, because it's you want to think of put yourself first, or you wouldn't do this to others because what if they did it to you? Where it's your life doesn't matter. Your blood is going to be spilled because we need victory.
Yeah. Yep. Another quote too is blessed is the mind too small for doubt, just because it's one of those things that it does make you stop and think oh shit, a lot of the success of people sometimes is because they just put their heads down and do it.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Yep.
Look at the orcs.
Yep.
No think, only do.
Yeah. Daga.
There you go.
Orcs.
Let us know your favorite quote.
That's another really good quote. Orcs. I say that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Only when we're marching through the streets and whatnot. Next question.
This one is by Bunny Hop. So the Imperium has a Christmas-like holiday in Sanguinala, but do they have Halloween-like holidays or a Day of the Dead or any other holiday for that matter?
They have other holidays, yes. I'll probably do a 40 Facts video on it, but they're mostly praising certain saints.
Right. The veneration of a heroic deity or sacrifice, that kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
Take your kids to work day.
Yeah, they have that for
every
the
Imperium. Which is every day.
For the Imperial Guard. This next question comes from all the way to Z2. Have any civilizations survived intact from the golden age of technology? I mean, the Imperium. The Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of those things.
Obviously, there are other Xeno races that were untouched by this blight. Because obviously, if something's happening on one portion of the galaxy, the other side of the galaxy is unbeknownst to what even is going on.
Yep.
Not just that, but certain worlds are cut off from the galaxy through warp storms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Just because it seems like, oh no, the Horus heresy is going on. There's other planets that didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah, exactly. This next question comes from Martin von Posen. Which of the Loyalist Space Marine chapters would you consider the most heretical?
That's interesting. I would probably go ahead and say the Space Wolves.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't follow the
Codex
Adeptus,
Astartes.
the Codex Astartes. They have succumbed to like the Wolfen curse, and they're very, very aggressive and instinctually animalistic, which kind of borders on the whole corn thing and whatnot. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good choice. For me, I think it would be the Black Templars. The reason for that is because they're so zealot. They actually believe in the God Emperor. And, like, all you have to do as a Space Marine is, like, look back at, like, the history. Like, no, we were not designed to worship him.
Right.
It was all about the imperial truth and war, basically. But, yeah, I think the most heretical to the Emperor, who wanted the imperial truth to exist, who wanted humanity to rule themselves, the Black Templars go completely against that.
Yeah.
Also, Black Templars hate people, so.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They get off with pain. They got pain gloves.
Yeah.
They go to crusades into the warp all the time. They also don't follow the Codex Astartes.
You should never trust somebody that likes pain. Think about it. Like, you are with a person that enjoys agony, suffering. You don't want that, man.
But maybe they enjoy the pain because when they find something that they really enjoy, they know, this is so much better than when I was whipping myself last night.
Well, not for the Black Templars, though, because they're always
whipping themselves.
Yeah, and if not, they're fighting against orcs and Tau. Yes.
This one's by Silver Breeze. Question/theory. Do you think that he, the Emperor, was actually fallible as any human, or that his godlike mind is inscrutable to us? Because looking back from 40K to 30K, it seems odd that the Emperor took some actions like mistreating Angron or other Primarchs. The Edict of Nicaea, they all seem like great errors. What is surprising considering he has the greatest tactical mind of all times and precognition. So personally, not only do I think he is fallible, but since he was created with a singular purpose by the shamans, that they perhaps had any devotion from that purpose, is now clouding his choices. I find this super grimdark and think that the Emperor is not only artificial, but without true free will. Opinions?
I think he is fallible, yeah, for sure, 100%. Because, like, even though he is the most powerful psyker in the entire, or for all humanity, he's not really even a person. He's like a conglomeration of what?
Shamans.
Yeah.
And even then he still gets fed shamans.
Yeah, every
with, like,
day.
the black ships and whatnot.
And, but,
psychers,
yeah, but if anything, he's really just some type of monster. He's not really human. He just pretends that he wants to help humanity, but, like, he hasn't.
Right, he can shapeshift.
Because of his mistakes. So yeah, I think worshipping the Emperor is flawed because of all those things.
That's very heretical.
If I was in the 40K universe as just like a High Lord or a person, yes, I would die right away. Because I would be like, yeah, I'm an atheist.
Like, I'm going to a better place.
Psych.
Yeah, I mean, your theory does stand strong with everything that's going on. But then you could say the opposite. It's like, well, the Emperor is not a god, so he's not all-knowing and whatnot. But he's pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Because of just divination and warp powers like that.
Yeah.
And he could turn himself into, like, a dog and a girl. Which is weird.
Most people can only turn themselves into one thing.
Yeah.
Not this one. Yeah. J Day. Who do you think is the large man in Baroque power armor in Trazian Stasis collection?
It's an Adeptus Custodes.
Yeah.
It's been shown.
Yeah. A lot of people were like thinking, oh, it's a new race, or oh, it's like a clone of the Emperor. Maybe it's a Thunder Warrior.
Or a Primarch.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he does have Primarchs, but not the one that, not what you just described. Next one.
Joe Davidson. Do you think that the Tyranids are more like the Zerg with a single guiding intelligence, or more like hives of swarm insect like bees and ants? The lore has given us examples for both. Thanks for all the great content. It makes my commute bearable.
Yeah, man, that's awesome to hear. That's kind of why we do this. To keep you guys entertained
from point A to point B.
Exactly. with the theme of 40K, because
Yeah.
that's what we do. Recently I saw on Instagram, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent first, but I saw somebody post something of like, oh, I'm just getting back into the hobby now. Like, I was on a hiatus for about a year and stuff like that. Like, as like friends, we need to like continue to like try to bring or to keep our friends into the hobby and stuff like that, just because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a good stress reliever, and it's just a good escape.
Mm-hmm. Not just that, but it's hard to Warhammer if you're the only person that's doing it in the area.
Yep.
Because, I mean, yeah, you could read the lore, play the games, collect an army, but if you want to play the game, you need somebody else.
Right, yeah. And I think the worst thing that GW could do is build a game that basically just mirrors the tabletop on online.
But I feel like that's what it's going to come to.
Sooner
or later.
I hope it doesn't.
They're going to have microtransactions. Oh, you want to use a Primaris? Oh, you got to pay $1 to get that unit.
You know what? If they bring in cryptocurrencies, then yeah, that'd be awesome. Like instead of having Dogecoin, it would be TEEF. So you could exchange TEEF and stuff like that in this game, this tabletop game. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, because I know lately they've been branching out with other companies like Magic the Gathering. They're coming out with
Dark Horse.
Yeah, Marvel Comics, Monopoly with Hasbro. Yeah. So they've been spreading their influence to try to bring in a wider audience, but also butchering that audience by taking away fan animators. So,
Yep. They're dicks.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, to answer your question.
What was this question?
What do you think the Tyranids are more like? Zerg with a single guiding intelligence, or more like hives of swarm insects like bees and ants?
Yeah, like bees and wasps. Where because they fight amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
You will never have, like, if it's just one hive mind, like let's say it's one ant with a queen bee, right, or with a queen ant. There's not gonna be a civil war. That just doesn't really happen.
Right. They're all doing what they're doing for the benefit of the colony and the queen.
Right.
Yeah. If they come into contact with another colony with a different queen, then yeah, they're going to fight because obviously they need resources and whatnot.
But that's the whole point. Like, it's multiple ant hills in this situation. It'd be hive fleets.
Right.
Kraken, Leviathan, Kronos.
Mm-hmm. But since they are kind of instinctual, if they do lose that connection to the hive mind, I mean, they could just fight amongst themselves.
Yeah. James Reynolds, love the show, gang. Longtime lurker. With regards to your previous conversation about the Emperor treating with chaos, do you believe it is possible for the Horus heresy, or do you believe it's possible that the Horus heresy was planned by the Emperor as part of his pact with chaos, a means of delivering what he bargained, the sacrifice of half his sons? Could be.
Yeah. Or it could just be a result of, like, chaos flinging them across to all these different planets. Because, I mean, the Emperor had all the Primarchs in one location, and he was just going to use them to reclaim all these worlds that were human-controlled worlds that were not controlled by humans anymore, that Xenos overtook. But again, Chaos was like, nah, we're spreading them. These guys are going to get influenced by the worlds they're on. The Emperor is going to influence others like Angron, and that's going to be the schism that creates that divide.
Yeah. And also just like, it could have been a situation where the Emperor knew that if victory was achieved through his Great Crusade, the Chaos Gods would continue to gain more power. So in order for him to be at the level of the Chaos Gods, he had to be worshipped, which meant that, some catastrophic event or something had to have made him be worshipped.
Right.
And maybe the Horus heresy was the thing that would lead him to, become a god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be really funny if like GW was like, oh, by the way, the Emperor was actually never like a skeleton. He's like, he's fine. He's just chilling, waiting to become a god.
Yeah, GW tends to retcon a lot of things, but I think they're gonna play it safe with the Emperor.
Yeah, and not bring him out.
I don't know. I think they will.
You think so?
I think they will.
Next question.
This one's by Isaac Langdon. Did the old ones once create the orcs with the instinct to worship Gork and Mork? And if so, why? If not, how did that religion come?
No, they did not create them with the intention of them worshiping. I think that came through just like the same way we develop religions. It's a means to explain
The unexplained.
phenomena. Yeah. And then slowly, it was created to build a sense of unity within the orcs.
Mm-hmm.
These are our gods. They're better than the Eldar gods. They're better than the human gods and stuff like that.
It's like, whoa, that orc is throwing up lightning. God gave him that power.
Yeah.
Gork did.
And then they're born.
Mm-hmm.
This next question comes from the big one. My dad left 7 years ago to get a pack of cigarettes. Do you think he's dead, in jail, or living it up with his other 3 baby mamas? I need to know.
I don't think it's living it up with the other 3 baby mamas, because why is he ignoring your mama?
Maybe she doesn't give good dome.
That's true.
But actually, no. I mean, 7 years ago we started the channel, and I do remember that he came into my old garage, and he's been sleeping there ever since.
Oh,
yeah. That's where your dad is, in our garage.
You give him cobijas, right?
Sometimes, if it's cold. If not, then because it gets hot in the garage.
It's like there's a fridge. Help yourself, right?
Yeah. But yeah, we've been doing this for around 7 years.
Yeah, it's crazy to think.
Yeah. Next question.
Oh, this one's by Nico Tugas. If GW were to make a Chaos Undivided Primarch model, who do you think GW would pick, and who do you think the community would want? Love the vids. Keep it up. We got the blue pill, so it's coming. So there's 2 Undivided Chaos or Demon Primarchs, Lorgar and Perturabo.
I don't know if Perturabo's a demon though. Did he reach apotheosis?
He might have, but I know Lorgar has been like on his tower meditating.
Yeah.
I mean that's the only 2 that I could think of, because you got Slanesh with Fulgrim, Khorne with Angron, Zeech with Magnus, which we already have, Nurgle with Mortarion, which we already have, and Abaddon. He's not a Primarch, but he could become a Demon Prince. But based on his past lore and whatnot, he doesn't want help. He wants to do it on his own accord. So we could kind of push Abaddon to the side, which we already kind of do have a Demon Prince Undivided, or a Demon Prince of all the Chaos Gods, if you want to think of it that way, with Be'lakor. But my guess would be Lorgar. I would want a Lorgar one. It'd be pretty badass.
His Forge World model looks really cool.
Yes, I almost wanted to buy it just for the sculpt. Put like a different head on him. But
he's a cool mace.
Yeah, it's very minimalistic and sleek, which is different than like other Primarchs.
Yep.
Because like you look at like Magnus, and he's got like nipple horns.
You need him.
Sometimes you do. But yeah, I would want Lorgar to come out.
Yeah, me too.
Perturabo would be pretty cool, because I feel like he'd be like some bulky, like rhino monster looking thing.
Yeah, like a dreadnought almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. This next question will be the last question from Clinton Alfonso. Who is Bridget B? You'll refer to her every once in a while, but I think it's a reference I don't get. As a new fan, can you please explain? Google Bridget B. And then go to videos. And then click on one of them. Make sure nobody's at the house. Get the tissue and the sock and the moisturizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then cut some pepino, put it on your eyes. Wait for them to get moisturized, and then go to town.
Yeah. Have a little snack for afterwards, after you've cleaned up, and the shame and regret has gone away. But those were the questions for today.
Thank you guys for watching and listening and commenting. We love to hear from you guys, so keep them coming.
Let us know what your favorite Bridget B video is. This was Gershwan,
The Sound Alchemist, and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.